Hey gamers, I decided that for some reason I wanted to do a Christmas special. I figured there has to be at least one or two decent Christmas-themed video games out there, right? Then I found this game. Bah humbug. Bah humbug. So without any further ado, let's get straight into Santa Claus Saves the Earth for the Game Boy Advance. This side-scrolling platformer was released in 2002. It was published by Telegames and developed by Evil Games? These guys. From the main menu, we hear a version of Jingle Bells playing, which surprisingly is the only Christmas music we will get to hear in the entire game. You can select a new game, password, or options. Under the options menu, you can decide whether or not you want the sound and/or music to be on or off. Most of the passwords you come across will let you skip to certain levels. Now we move on to the story for this game. The calendar shows that there is only one day left until Christmas. A wicked fairy named Nilam, or Nalam, or however you pronounce it. Basically, an evil fairy saw that Santa Claus was preparing his sleigh for takeoff, and became furious. Guess she must have been put on his naughty list one too many times. So to stop him from being able to deliver presents to all the children of the world, the fairy trapped him in her magic lands of evil. Okay, now let's jump into action and discuss the controls for this game. Obviously, the D-pad moves Santa around. If you tap the A button lightly, Santa will jump. If you hold it, he'll jump higher. At first, your only option of attack is swinging your bag around by holding the B button. You can't just do one normal swing, you have to constantly swing it. And let me tell you, the accuracy for attacking with this bag is not very good. Especially considering how you are constantly being pushed backwards while you're swinging it. Pressing up by a ladder will let you climb it, and you can press any of the buttons that you come across by standing in front of them and pressing up. Eventually, you'll come across 3 different types of ammo. The normal snowball, tomatoes, which fire more rapidly than the snowballs, and the darker snowballs. You can cycle through your ammo or your bag by pressing the shoulder buttons. Once you've selected the weapon of your choice, simply hit the V button to attack. Also of note should be the fact that you can somewhat control the camera. You can either have it move up or down by pressing those buttons when you're standing still. In the upper right hand corner, you will notice 4 hearts. That's your health meter. In the upper left hand corner, you'll notice 3 tubes. These keep track of the number of red, blue, or green coins you collect along the way. Do these do anything special? Not from what I can tell, other than being tallied up to determine your score at the end of each level. There are a total of 15 different levels in this game, spread out in 4 different worlds. However, unlike how these worlds would be set up in some Mario games, where you would see the same sort of levels in one unique world, like underwater levels or sand levels, these levels are spread out. There's a cave level, an icy level, a factory level, a forest level, and then the boss level. These levels aren't always in the same order, but the boss level is always last. To exit these levels, you'll have to find 1 to 3 keys: red, yellow, or green. The number of keys you have to gather varies from level to level. In some cases, you might only need to find 1 key. In other cases, you'll need to find all 3. Now let's talk about the music for this game. As I mentioned earlier, the version of Jingle Bells you hear on the main menu is the only Christmas music you'll hear in this entire game. The rest of the music seems rather unfitting of a game where your main character is Santa Claus. I mean, seriously, just take a minute to listen to some of the different tracks you'll hear. closest track to a Christmas song, I guess, would be in the boss levels, but I couldn't tell you what it's supposed to be. I don't know, maybe it's an odd version of the Nutcracker. It's not like the music is terrible, it's just not very fitting for a game like this.
Okay, so, there has to be something good about this game, right? There has to be! There has to be!
Well, for starters, it is a very unique game. The first few levels are actually pretty fun to play, especially once you start picking up your ammo. I enjoyed destroying my enemies with the simplest of weapons, my snowballs of doom.
And now we move on to the bad aspects for this game. And there are quite a few. For a game that has to have been targeting a younger audience, there are way too many extreme death traps in this game.
There were even occasions where you had no choice but to take a hit when you were leaping from platform to platform. In fact, after level 11, I started to get so irritated that I actually entered in an invincibility code just so I could finish gathering footage for this review. Hence why Santa is now in a blue suit. And even then, there were some pitfalls you could find yourself falling into with no way out, so invincibility didn't always help. My main problem with the controls was the physical attack, where you had to swing the bag back and forth. It was so clumsy. And here's a little spoiler alert. You absolutely have no choice but to use this attack against the final boss. None of your ammo will hurt her in any way, which sucks. The thing is, I know some kids probably wouldn't have been able to figure this out, and it's not like there are many walkthroughs of this game available online. Would I actually recommend this game? If you have a lot of patience and don't get easily irritated after failing a lot, then yes. If bizarre games like this are your thing, then you'll find some enjoyment out of it. Otherwise, I suggest you stay away from this game.
I hope you all enjoyed my Christmas special. I am Quake, wishing you all a Merry Christmas and Happy Holidays. Later, gamers!